Welcome to Without a Candle. We are your hosts,
Hey guys, I'm Carla.
and I'm Carlie. Let's just jump on in, shall we?
Hey guys.
Welcome back.
Again.
Yeah,
It's been a minute.
It's been a hot minute
Yeah.
for sure.
And I've missed this.
I know,
Like
because we don't get to talk very
yeah, well
much.
when we do, it's other conversations that we don't have to sit still to have.
Yeah.
And so there's so many topics changed and
Mhm.
change of so many topics.
Yeah.
And so
And then most of it's like in the in between,
yeah.
and then we sprinkle business with it.
Yeah.
We don't get to really talk about like all the things we enjoy and
Yeah.
like want to share and like all the
Right.
things. So it's
The things we want you guys to hear about,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So,
So
let's see. I don't even remember the last thing we talked about. I know a lot of it has changed for us as individuals and for
yeah.
the shop. But what do you want to share first today?
I guess let's just start from the middle and work our way in a circle, I guess. I don't know.
Okay.
We can start with the evolution of services and events
Hmm.
and kind of what we are shifting towards as we move into the summer and fall months.
Yeah.
Do you want to go?
Well, there's been I guess this is going to be about the spirit release then, because that's really what
The
started
big,
shifting everything.
yeah.
So Spirit Release Academy is the school that Carla and I took our most recent training from.
And we
And
have one coming up next week,
yes.
and then we have another one coming up in the end of August.
So really the transformation of our
Yeah.
businesses this year has been the transformation of us. Like
Yeah.
of us seeking not just the next educational piece, but the next meaningful educational piece,
Yeah.
if that makes sense
Yeah.
at all.
It stemmed from wanting or have not even wanting, but having the need to personally develop,
Hmm.
right? So the evolution in our own spiritual practice, like how we show up for ourselves. So when we came across SRA through actual a mutual, Sarah
Hmm.
from Earth Alchemy, we really wanted the personal development of honing in on new skills,
Hmm.
right? So then we take this class,
Yeah.
and you actually had to push me for about a month to even sign up.
Look, listen to the podcast. You're about to miss the deadline.
Yeah. And I'm
It's
like,
about to be now or never. Shut or get off the pot.
right.
Like, I think I threw everything at you that I
Yeah.
could possibly do without, taking you captive
It
and
just,
force feeding you the information,
right.
right?
Yeah.
But you finally did.
Yep.
And then you were hooked from
God, it was like this. I think it was like the second episode of their podcast, and I think the podcast right now is only like 5 or 6 episodes, right? And so finally, I was getting me and my son ready for to go to daycare, and then me having to come in the shop. So I'm like, I might as well just put in my earbud and start listening to it. I've got time. I need to stop, because I think that morning I had woke up to like 2 more messages from you. Do you listen to the podcast yet? I guess I'm going to now. I remember I had gotten us ready, drove to drop him off, stopped to get gas, and I'm walking into the gas station to pay. And I wanted to get a drink. And I stop dead in my tracks in the middle of the parking lot and go, it's germ theory. Because that's how they explain it, like the scientific side. Like with germ theory, it's the belief that something is affecting our body internally that we cannot see with the naked eye. And we just have to believe that these invisible things, quote unquote, invisible things, are affecting our immune system, right? And so they explained all these energy bodies having the same effect.
Yeah.
Like, and I'm like, holy shit, that's exactly what it is. Like, that's exactly how we can explain this. It's germ theory. And so from there, I was just hooked. I listened to the rest of it. I was working by myself that day here, so I just kept listening to it. And by like noon or 1 o'clock, I had it finished.
It's a super easy listen.
Yes,
too,
it really
right?
is.
Yeah.
And so that was a week before the class started, right? So I schedule my interview because you have to interview to take their course. I schedule my interview, and Andy ends up and can't make it to my interview. We interviewed 3 days before that class. He approves me that night. They send me all the things. I fit in all that pre-work in 48 hours.
Yeah.
And then we went right into the class for 8 weeks.
And then here we are.
Yeah, here we are. It was crazy. The deadlines and all the moving pieces that made that happen.
Yeah.
So
Just rewinding a little bit, like before we were taking the classes and doing the things, we were ordering clearings for ourselves through that mutual friend. And at that point, Sarah, I don't know if that me, she wasn't doing the work yet either.
Yeah, no.
So it was like a friend of a friend doing the work, right? And so it was like undeniably,
I think
results that were coming back from that.
Yeah. So this would have started last May, a year ago this month.
So it's all about the process sometimes.
Yeah.
Right? And so,
what hooked it for you?
the last reading or my last,
Yeah.
it's not a reading, it's a clearing.
Yeah. So your last report.
Yeah, it's my last report.
That made me nervous.
Where I was called out.
Yeah. That made me nervous laugh when I was reading it.
Basically, the medium's guides to Moon called me out in this report during the clearing, and it was basically like, you need to do the work yourself, stop coming back to us to clean up your messes. And then, not that it was messes, but with the everyday work here, we do cross a lot of things, right? And so if something started going sideways for us here, or for me personally, I would just go get another clearing.
Instead of doing and they were like, you know how to do it, you have all the things, stop.
But
like,
here we are. And so I'm like, you know what, that actually makes really good sense. Because there's a lot of time and energy and money that goes into this work. But there's just as much that you can continuously spend having someone else do the work for you. That doesn't make sense. You know what I mean? So here we are. But that ties us into the other services, because now, this may sit a little weird with some people, it's really tricky to do some of those other services, because this is the cream of the crop. Like, this is the shit, right? So, and there's more to the story, right? Like, why, other reasons why. It's not just my last report. But we
also took the personal development classes and the prevention classes too. So it's not just the SRA stuff. It is also the personal development side. So you honed in on more of your trance and mediumship. You honed in on your personal sovereignty and your protection, and like your energy hygiene,
and what that means, and how to share that with people. But what I was getting to with the other services is, it makes doing some of those tricky, because when you had a clearing before you do Reiki, when you had a clearing before you do the Akashic Records, everything else is just accelerated on such a sped up timeline of healing and transformation, that it's really even tricky to promote and share all the other things before we share the spirit release clearings. Does that make sense?
So a couple examples of things that are still on the list but not promoted and advertised anymore are like your chakra scan. If you get a clearing, we don't need to check it.
No,
because it's already taken care of. Same thing with the egg cleanses. We don't have to do that anymore because we have,
and it's so much more. When I talk about budget, it's just not monetary budget. Time is a budget too. Energy is also a budget. So encompassing all of that, it's just so much more budget friendly as well, right? And monetarily budgeted, too, because we can go through years of Reiki, and we can unlayer and uncover, and I have to be careful with verbiage, but we can work through years of things. But the clearing does that.
It's so
in one clearing, or just a couple clearings that you don't even have to show up for.
Because it's all remote. It's all remote work.
So now that's tricky to explain to someone. They're like, how do you do that? And it's, in trance, you are located based on your energetic
vibration.
Yeah.
Because all that's measured, it's all energy, like that can be transmuted and picked up anywhere in the world. Hell, we were trying to locate somebody and couldn't, because they were out of town and we had no idea where they were, right?
Because that was an energetic link that we were using to locate this person.
Yes.
There's been moments where connections didn't happen because the other person was either using a street substance or alcohol or something like that. And so it wasn't the time or place. And because they were in the influence of something, their energetic field wasn't quite the same. Does that make sense? But what's it been for you? Like, because you see a completely different side of this.
Yes. So taking it a step back to answer that question is the clearings are done by two people. We have a medium that goes in trance and sits with their main guide. And then we also have a facilitator side that prompts the
Protocol.
the protocol to the guide to make sure that they're doing everything they should in and out. We don't probe things. But the most important thing with that is that we are checking on the medium. We're checking for safety. We're watching mannerisms. We're watching their face. We're making sure that the whole time the medium is safe because they're not the ones doing the work. They're the ones channeling. The spirit guide team is the one doing the work. So they're just the vessel. They have no control in that moment. So it's our job as a facilitator to make sure that you are safe through all of that. And if anything goes sideways, we check in, we disconnect, we pull. It doesn't matter where we're at in the protocol, we stop it. We shut it down. We'll come back another day, right? So on my side of it, it's real interesting because I get to see you so differently than how you are right now.
So not quite me though.
Yes.
The guide.
Yeah. Well, you
person.
physically are different because your face does change.
Yeah.
Your mannerisms do change. It's somebody else coming through.
The personality is different too,
Yes.
huh?
Yes. So even today we did a clearing and there was one part where she made me chuckle.
Okay.
You know?
Yeah.
And then there's other part or other times where your guide, I don't know if you want to share her name or not, but she's very stern and she's very no nonsense and she knows the time and place for that. And it's quite fascinating. It's quite interesting to watch and see. So yeah, I think we can go a little deeper in another episode on all of that. But to tie it all back to how this affects the shop, right? It is hard to promote this. I don't want to use small.
No, you don't want to discount them.
Right, because they do have their benefits, right? And not only just for budget friendly options, but also, sometimes people already have the clearing and they just need a little like, hey, check me, know. But it's changed how we promote and what we're sharing and what we're doing here. And that means that we're sticking to the basics. You get a clearing and we've got two other services that are basically what you need, energy work, and then also the Akashic Records, right? So we have mediumship through Reiki, so energy work is flowing. We can still do Reiki with sound healing because sometimes people just really need that relaxing time.
Those moments, like so Reiki or sound healing and tuning forwards and Akashic Records, sometimes those are more accepted than when we start talking about remote spirit guided release, right? They're like, whoa, that's a lot,
what does
but
that
we
mean?
can still connect with people during Akashic Records or during Reiki because they already understand that. They're not quite to the spirit release yet, but they will be eventually. And so you've got to meet people where they are. And so there's still a need for that, and it's still here. And you'll still see it mentioned, but not the same.
Right.
Not the same.
Not the same, yeah. And then segueing that over to our events, honestly, the clearings themselves is a whole nother job. We're at least doing clearings 4 days a week at this point, and it takes a good 45 minutes to an hour to get set up, get into trance. It takes a lot of energy.
Because we check in ourselves, we ground and center, clear the space, clear, the human sides of us. Like there's prep that goes into it.
Oh yeah. So it takes a good portion of the day if we even just do 2 or 3 in a day. So that means that we don't have much time or energy to promote or facilitate classes. You know, so we will still have, you know, our gatherings. We'll still have some sound baths, some meditations and things like that. But you guys might see some helping hands and friendly faces kind of stepping in and taking the workload off of us.
For sure.
Where we see the importance and need in the new work we are doing, we also see and appreciate the people that can help, and we're getting comfortable.
Well, and then that
Offer it.
changes
Yeah.
that changes some of the other space too,
Yeah.
because there's days that we get in and we do one or two clearings because they are so deep,
Yeah.
right? And so that sometimes the day's done,
Yeah,
right?
just
And I'm
after
just
one
like
or
tapping
two.
out, yeah. But the need to have the space for us to be able to do those clearings any given day has also changed the dynamics of other people coming in.
Yeah.
So I feel like that's a good mention too. You know, if we've got someone scheduled on a Tuesday and we have a wait list of 10 people, we could have used the space on Tuesday to do that work.
Yeah.
And I know it probably sounds a little selfish at first, but when you dig deep and you realize just how powerful this work is, we really do need the opportunity and the option to have our space available to us.
Yeah, for sure. Because sometimes, you know, working together in this work, we can do it in the same room, but sometimes depending on how heavy the energy is, it you can feel it, like it bogs you down. It really does. And so being able to do the work in separate rooms, so that means utilizing more of this space, changes how much we can do at the same time in the shop. Because before we could have a reader back here and still be able to do Reiki in the Reiki room.
Right.
But with the works, you know, we've had a couple of those clearings where, you know, you come out because it's so heavy and you're like, I'm just done. Like I've seen you look like you're about to throw up at some points, like physically sick, you know, just because of what's come through. You've come out looking like you haven't slept for days. It just depends on the person, what's attached to them. And all the things, like we go down the rabbit hole on all of the things, but
and then there are some that are light.
like today,
and
you came out so
I felt like I had
rejuvenated.
such a good nap after today's session.
Yeah, which is pretty rare, honestly. So I was kind of pleased and happy.
I was pleased too.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure how I was going to make it through
Through
the
the
long
day.
day. Yeah.
Yeah. So I hope that as you guys see kind of the subtle shifts and changes, because it's not something that we're just ripping the band-aid off, we're kind of slowly integrating and readjusting things, that you guys come into the new information with an open mind. And if we're not here to answer questions, we have it all over the website. So go check out the website. The website also has the Sovereign Souls podcast, the one we were talking about, that explains the whole kit and caboodle.
When I was going through the pre-work and they were talking about the founders, which was Dr. Terrence Palmer, and Andy Porter, just still, you know, part of the SRA. He's still one of the co-founders. Unfortunately,
Palmer passed in 2020 because of COVID.
But if you go back and you watch some of their old school videos, man, I got so excited one day taking notes that I had to make myself stop, go outside. Like I was physically shaking in excitement. It's just, so I still get excited. I don't know if you can tell. But it's just such mind-blowing work.
It really is.
How they tie together the science. Yeah. Because Dr. Palmer, I mean, he's a doctor. He has a PhD, and he was, you know, doing all the things.
Clinical research psychologist.
With a medium.
With a medium.
And I'm like,
yeah.
That just makes me all happy. Yeah. So if you're super nerdy like I am and you want to get this excited, go back even deeper. Go back and look up Dr. Terrence Palmer and just see what you know his old videos have to offer.
He has a book that he published before he passed, which is the clinical side of explaining this to the scientific community. So if you have the scientific mind, the nerdy mind to digest all that verbiage, that's the book to read. But Andy Porter and John O. Webster have reworded all of that for the simpletons to understand and digest that side of SRA and the clearings of what they do in a more easier way. And I think they just released that a couple months ago.
Yeah.
So you can go and find that on the Spirit Release Academy website. But
you know, the only thing's missing today is our certificates.
I know.
But I did think it was, you know, proper to honor those and honor our process and have custom frames made. So
for
good
sure.
things are worth waiting on, but we'll have those in the future.
Yeah, I think actually she said a couple days, so I'm hoping this week.
Nice.
Yeah, so supporting a local business to make us some custom frames for that. So, and I'm just super excited to continue my work with them. I think you're taking the trance class.
Yes.
Yeah, so
well, yeah, and this is a new for us too, right? Like until this year. And we still have our solo studies too, but until this year, we didn't commit to many of the same things at the same time.
Yeah, no.
You know?
So, and I do want to give a little shout out to the girls that are running the shop for us to be able to do all this. Jill, Jamisa, and Monique, because if we didn't have their backup to help run retail and make sure everything is copacetic and, you know, on the shelves and all the inventory and putting everything out for us, we would not have time.
Because there's days we just disappear for 3 or 4 hours back here.
Yeah. And then by the time we're done, we're like, we're going home.
Done.
Yeah. So, I hope that you guys embrace the changes. I know that over the years it's been a little tricky, wanting to come in and seeing new faces, especially if Carla wasn't here and now me not being here. But we're still here. We're doing stuff in the background.
Schedule an appointment.
Yeah, come see us.
You want to chat? Schedule an appointment.
Bring us a coffee. You know, but no, for real. So, as we move into these next couple episodes, we're gonna have some testimonies.
But then
I think
the next time, so we also have our friend back, Gary and Melissa are back, and that's for us. So by the next time they see us, we'll have the trance 1 under our belt. Yeah, we'll have the psychic surgery under our belt. Yep. And those things are mind blowing too. Yeah. And then you'll be finished with the Akashic 3, right?
Akashic Records 3, yeah.
Holy fucking
So
shit.
deep dive into past lives.
Yeah. I'm excited, guys. Okay, so we're gonna stop here because if not, this will be 1 3-hour podcast. Yeah, but
we can go down.
We'll see you back in a bit.
Yeah. Bye, guys.
Right, guys. So that wraps up another episode of Without a Candle with Karlie and Carla. We appreciate you, and we'll see you next time.